Well, I'm sitting here on the floor of the Deaf Dome with a baseball guy, actually, but right now I want to talk to him about basketball. Kramer Robertson, in case you haven't heard, is the son of Kim Mulkey, the LSU women's head basketball coach. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's breaking news. I don't know if anybody's ever heard that one before.
Let's start with that. It was like the every baseball game you played, basically, right? It was the countdown. It was the when is the cutaway.
It was a drinking game, yeah. She didn't like it. I know she didn't like it at all. There was no hiding, and she wanted to be at all my games. And I mean, I didn't love it. I'd rather them, you know, if I get a hit, talk about the hit, or make a play, talk about the play, and not always bring up mom. But I'm definitely proud that she's my mother and always will be. But it got exhausting, I think, for everybody, us included.
I think I can see it, just to play devil's advocate for 1 second. The casual person that's maybe watching LSU play Florida in baseball and isn't invested in the two teams may not know that, may not know.
Right.
But the LSU baseball fan who watches every game, it's getting hit over the head by the end of the year. You just had enough.
Right.
And so she didn't. She wasn't a big fan of it, huh?
No, she would tell you she wanted the attention to be on me. Like I said, if I made a play or hit a home run, that was me doing that. She had nothing to do with it. She's proud of the fact that I'm her son. She's my mom, but she always said she wishes that the attention would have just been on the baseball team and the players that were playing. I
guess there is a difference, right, Kramer, between, okay, the 3-second, 5-second shot, okay, there she is, identifier, we call that a super in TV, the name, Kim Mulkey. But then, I guess, the cutaways that continued throughout the game. Right.
Yeah, it was just, I don't mind, like, I don't think she minded being shown on TV, like, oh, Kim Mulkey's here, she's the mom, but, I mean, I felt like it was every at bat or every play, like, it was, and I'm not sure that people wanted to see it, like, people were tired of it, like, seeing her reaction, so, I don't know, it's all good, and hopefully they don't pan to me in the crowd as much as they do during her games. It's okay occasionally, but it's full circle now. Like, I want the attention to be on her and her team, and not myself.
I think that was a joke you made with me. I talked to Kramer the day that this finally leaked that Kim Mulkey was indeed going to become LSU's new head coach. I was talking to Kramer on the phone. I think you made the joke something like, well, maybe now I'll be known as Kim Mulkey's son.
Right. And she's got a shirt at home that she wears sometimes that says Kramer's mom on it, which is pretty funny because that was what everybody was calling her. Growing up, I was always Kim Mulkey's son, so she was proud of the fact that she was Kramer's mom during all the LSU baseball days, and she has a shirt now that says it.
I think it's, I hope I don't get this wrong, it's the One Team, One Podcast guys that did the spoof song Kramer's mom instead of Stacy's mom.
Yeah.
What was that band? Fountains of Wayne, I think, or something like that. But
I think that's before my time. I couldn't tell you.
Before your time was like 2004 or something. Right. 2005. Did she ever hear the song?
Yes. She sees most of everything that I want her to see. She doesn't actually, she has social media, but it's not on her phone. Like, her assistants run it. But if there's anything funny or anything that I want her to see, or that any of her assistants want her to see, we definitely show her. So she doesn't miss too much. But she doesn't actually have Instagram or Twitter or any of that on her phone.
I got you.
We show her everything that she needs to see.
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of coaches out there, head coaches and assistants, who have a Twitter account that I'm pretty sure they never do anything with it. It's somebody else who's doing something. I think Durante Jones, who was LSU's defensive coordinator, we interviewed him recently because I hate social media, but I've got this Twitter account.
Right. Now, she's not typing it herself, but she will, if she wants something to be posted, a picture or a tweet or something, a message to the fans, she will tell whoever it is to post that. Gotcha. But she's not on there reading Twitter or seeing Instagram pictures and anything like that.
Someone else can do that, right?
Right.
Do this for me, bang, it's done.
Right.
The funniest one, Kramer, you know Steve Ensminger, offensive coordinator?
Oh, yeah.
He, from his Twitter account, they tweeted something one time where we said there was zero chance that he sent this out.
Right. Yeah, a lot, I mean, some of them are funny. Like, if you know my mom, some of the tweets that are on her profile, you're like, that doesn't sound like her, but it's important. It's a good in recruiting. It's good to interact with the fans. Like, Haley Bryant was tweeting at her to come to the PMAC. She would have never seen that, but I had just happened to come across it on Twitter. And so I brought it downstairs. I showed it to her, and she's like, respond to it and tell her I'll be there.
Yeah, she was sitting right down there.
With Didi, yep.
For the gymnastics meet.
Yep. So she'll see stuff like that. We'll make sure she sees it.
Yeah. Man, this building, too. I mean, you think about Friday, they sold out for the gymnastics meet against Alabama. Today, as Kramer and I are sitting here, LSU just beat Florida 66-61. And just an amazing game. It was not a pretty game, the shooting percentages were not good, but you talk about two teams that dove on the floor, blood, sweat, and tears. It was amazing to watch.
Yeah, it was a grind. I wouldn't even say it was super entertaining. It was ugly. But you have to win these games if you want to be a really good team. You have to win the games when you're not playing well, and shooting's not going to be always there. So how do you make up for that? You play hard, you play good defense, you dive on the floor for a loose ball. You just find a way to win. I mean, you can talk about the three guards for LSU this year, probably been the best trio in the country. Probably could be arguably the best trio my mom's ever had, even at Baylor. And they were off tonight. And they're rarely off, but you look at what the post play did, I think they only missed 2 or 3 shots inside. So, you know, when someone's not playing well, then somebody else has to step up. It's the next man up. And good teams do that. So it was good to see them win a game like this where they didn't particularly play well, but they were still able to come out with a victory against a really good Florida team.
Yeah, very well said on your part. I mean, just finding a new way to win, right? Because I think Kayla Pointer was 1 of 17, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, how many times? I mean, she's an All-American, All-SEC player. That's not going to happen often. But, you know, somebody else has to pick up the slack. And, you know, I was in the locker room, and I was very impressed with. She was one of the first ones up dancing, really excited. And I think that's what, you know, makes a good leader. It doesn't matter who does well, who gets the credit. All that matters is winning.
Yeah. And
they were all super excited. All 3 of those guards were the first ones dancing, first ones jumping up and down. Because at the end of the day, all that matters is you win. And now having this win, I think, sets them up with a good chance to host the first and second round of the NCAA tournament here.
And you talking about, like, for example, when you're playing baseball, there's don't take your offense to your defense, right? I mean, if you go through a 1 through 20 slump, then you start booting the ball at shortstop.
Yeah, way easier said than done. For sure.
Exactly. And then Jalen Cherry today, she's not hitting, but in the fourth quarter, I just talked to your mom about it in the post game. She dove for a ball like with 2 hands.
Yep.
And it was a jump ball, and LSU gets
got the possession. That was huge. And that's just the type of player that she is. You know, she's so athletic and so probably the most athletic guard for a female that I've ever seen. I mean, she can jump out of the gym, she can run, and when she gets going, I mean, this team's really hard to stop. But yeah, like we were saying, like when you don't have, the shots aren't falling, you got to find another way to impact the game, and you got to try your best. It's hard not to carry your offense to your defense, but you know, there's 2 sides of the floor, and you can impact the game in some way, and I think that she did that tonight.
Yeah, and your mom talks about, and I guess we can all be there no matter what it is, how Jalen is kind of her own worst enemy.
Right.
When you get in your own head, you know, and it seems like she's done that in the past. Now this year she's controlled it, and I'm not attacking her. We're just having a conversation about athletics, and so many people deal with
difficult.
That.
You know, you see it in baseball all the time. And sometimes you need somebody else to pick you up, and you need your teammates to pick you up. And I think her teammates and my mom, the assistant coaches, have done a good job of that this year. And look at her play. She's been, you know, I don't know what she did the years before this, but I would assume this has to be the best year of her career. She's playing. Yep. She's playing outstanding. My mom loves coaching her. She's a great kid. I love her. She's awesome. Every time interaction that I have with her, she's great. I know her teammates love her, so it was really good to see her knock it down on herself, go make a big play defensively, and that got us all the momentum. She was hyping the crowd up, so that was really good to see, and it was one of the biggest plays in the game.
I mean, you're talking about LSU hosting NCAA tournament games here.
How crazy is that?
How many times did you come to a women's game when you were a baseball player?
My first women's game was my mom's first game here. I never came to one game.
While you were a baseball player here at LSU?
Ever.
Never came to an LSU women's basketball
or any of the years after that I was living here.
Yeah.
I never did. Now, granted, I didn't have a reason to. I mean, my mom was at Baylor, but I don't know. I just, looking around this building today and seeing the excitement for women's basketball, you have 13,000 people here. It's loud. People care. You walk around this city. People have always cared about football and baseball and men's basketball, but to see people genuinely care and have energy in this building and around the city is really special. And I told my mom when she took this job that you win, these people you see it with baseball. She saw it. These people are going to love you. I didn't know it was going to happen this quick. I don't think anybody expected this. But it just shows how hard she and her staff, those players, have been working. They believe in themselves. They found their identity. And it's just, I think they're building something really special here. And I'm happy to get to not be a part of it, but just to see it and just be so close to it. And for it to be at my alma mater is really cool.
I heard Scott Rabelais say that he heard Tamika Johnson say that she was here today and it brought her back to the early 2000s when she played here, when they were playing at a high level, making Final Fours, putting a lot of people in this building.
Right, that's Mom's goal, because she played here and she got her butt kicked, I think the year after they won the national championship, and I was with her, and this place was rocking, and they got beat by like 20 or 30, and Simone Augustus went off. And that's why she's bringing back some of these former players. She wants to bring back that culture and that atmosphere that was here when they went to those 5 straight Final Fours and had all those great players. So that's what they're trying to build. I don't think anybody expected it to happen this fast, but when you have this as much passion as my mom does, it rubs off on her players, her coaching staff, the fans, the community. What you see is what you get. She's as real as they come. She's out in the community. She's going door to door at the fraternity houses, talking to the students, getting them to come to the game. She's putting in a lot of effort, and I think people see that, and I think people appreciate that. And she's putting a good product on the floor, which is the most important thing. You can do all of that, but if you don't win, people aren't going to show up.
Right.
And she's winning, and it's crazy to be talking like they are probably going to be in the top 10 tomorrow when the AP poll comes out. They're number 2 by themselves in the SEC. That's wild, and it's awesome that it's at my alma mater. I can't believe that. I just can't believe Baylor let this happen. As I just sit back and I'm like, how do you let this happen? But I'm like, thank you.
Are you pinching yourself a little bit?
Yeah, I am, because I never thought that she would leave Baylor, and obviously this is the only school that she would come to. But even then, like, how do you let her go? Like, you see this energy and what she's building. Like, I guess that's another conversation, but I'm happy, and I think everybody here is happy to have her.
I told your mom this. There was a group text that I'm all with some guys, and when her name first started coming about, like, this is one of the guy in our group text. There is a 0.005% chance that this is happening. You know, when you get older, you become more jaded. When you're younger, you believe in sunshine and rainbows and happy endings and all that. But you're like, no way. Why? Why would you do it?
I never thought it would happen. I mean, she had an absolute powerhouse, a dynasty at Baylor. She was guaranteed. I mean, she won like 10 or 11 straight conference championships at Baylor. I just can't believe that they let her go, but I'm so happy they did.
Yeah, because you would talk about it when you were a player.
Oh, when I was playing here, I always would have loved it. I love Baylor, and I love the people there. I have great memories. And
your sister's still there?
My sister's still there. My mom, they love the community. They love Baylor University. My mom spent 21 years there. Baylor will always be special, and the people will always be special. And it's not those people's fault, the reason why she left. It had nothing to do with them, and it's just shocking. But I'm happy, and I used to talk about it, man. People were always like, Kramer, get your mom to LSU, get your mom to LSU. I was like, hey, show her the money. It was always my answer. Show her the money, maybe she'll come. But never really believing that she would actually end up on the court at the PMAC. And then she called me, and she said that LSU had offered her, and they'd offered her enough, and she couldn't. She was stuck. But again, I just can't believe that. It's hard to let a Hall of Fame coach like that, and someone that brings this much passion and this much energy to not only the basketball team, but the community, the whole athletics department. It's hard to let someone like that go, but I'm sure happy she's at my alma mater, and I know she's happy to be back in her home state, and the way people treat her, the way, the relationships that she's formed already with the administration and so many people in this community is really special, and it's good to see your mom happy. It really is.
Yeah, and look, it's a lot of money, but it wasn't like LSU doubled her salary.
Oh, no.
She said she didn't do it for the money. Now, obviously, you can't pay her less than what she was making at Baylor, but it wasn't like some exorbitant amount of money. I don't want to make the example, but Brian Kelly's going to get paid a lot more here than he was.
Right. She's not making much more money here than she was at Baylor at all.
Yeah. Right.
And like you said, this decision had nothing to do with money. And I know that's hard to believe someone's sitting at home like this is millions of dollars on the line, but like she was making money at Baylor. She has money. She wanted to come here because she wanted to feel loved. She wanted to feel wanted. She wanted to be back home in her home state, and she had a vision for this place to make it like it was back in 2004, 2005, and she wanted to be a light for this university that needed it and needs it at this time. And I think she's doing that now. She's given a lot of people in this community a lot of excitement and a lot of things to look forward to. Just, you know, football season ends, you're like, oh man, well, when's baseball season? Well, now Will Wade and my mom are bringing a lot of energy, and you don't have to wait for baseball season. People are excited to go to the basketball games, the women's basketball games. So I think it's going to be a really exciting time to be an LSU student and an LSU fan and cover all the. Yeah. I know it has to be fun to cover.
Oh, it's been the most fun I've had covering women's basketball since 2000. I don't know, 7, 8, whenever the last time was. They went to the Final Four. 08 was the last time. Tampa, Florida. But it's even more fun because of your mom. And I said this. I know that your mom probably gets offered lots of money to go speak at places, you know, speaking engagements. Will you come speak at our banquet? Will you come speak to these business leaders or whatever? And I get to come here talk 2 or 3 times a week for free.
For free.
So I'm not going to miss it.
That's a great gig. She keeps it entertaining. She keeps it fun. She keeps it loose. Now they've been winning a lot. Don't catch her on a bad day. You never. She has no filter. She'll tell you exactly how she feels. She's not going to sugarcoat it to me, to you, to anybody on her team, anybody in the media, any fan. She's just real, and you can't get offended, and you just have to appreciate somebody who's as genuinely honest as she is.
Well, I think that's what so many people appreciate. Yeah. Is that, I don't want to call it old school, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you can't coach people anymore.
She's old school.
Yeah.
I think that's a compliment.
You got young people like Alexis Morris and Jalen Cherry hanging on every word she's saying because they know she's a Hall of Famer and they're being a sponge to it. And you got a guy like Ben McDonald, for example. He's old school, like your mom, and loves what she's doing. And people just love that, hey, we can coach somebody hard without going to Twitter and complaining and hitting the transfer portal, you know?
Exactly. And you have to adapt or die. And so she's old school, but she's adapted to the time. She knows her players. She knows her teams. You'll see her, I mean, I don't know, 20 years ago, you would have seen her hitting the gritty or whatever in the locker room, but she adapts with the times, and she learns, and she notices, you know, what's the mood of the team, what do I need to do, but still being hard-nosed and still holding them to a high standard, but having fun with them. Nobody wants to come out here and be miserable all the time and yelling all the time. There's a time and place to have fun and to know your team, and I think any of her players would tell you that they love playing for her.
Will Wade's got a great line. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Because you're doing this is an amazing interview. I should just sit here and let you talk the whole time. But Will Wade had a great line the other day. He said, if you coach them hard, you better love them hard. Yeah. And I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's a great line. And just like being her son, how she coaches and how you see her, that's exactly how she was as a mother too. She was hard on me, but you know, like I love that quote. If she's gonna be hard on me, she's got to love me hard too, and she did. And she's my biggest critic, and she's my biggest fan. So it was special getting to grow up with her, and now seeing her in the stands at my LSU games, and now to be full circle, be the one nervous in the stands watching her close games. Whew. Stressed me out. They can't ever win big. They always got to go right down to the wire. But it's been really special, and I just know she's so happy being home. I see it every day.
And it's kind of funny for me to see, because I remember the game you were talking about when Baylor came in here and got smashed by LSU the year after your mom gave LSU, in my opinion, off the top of my head, I'd have to say the most disappointing day in LSU women's basketball history when they lost to Baylor in the Final Four, because LSU had Simone and Sylvie and Tamika.
Yeah, they were so good.
Your mom was not supposed to win that game.
No, I was at that game.
Yeah.
I was at both those games. I was here when they beat us in the PMAC, beat Baylor in the PMAC, and I was in Indianapolis. Okay. I was probably 10 or 11 years old, so I was old enough to remember.
Well, there's shots of you when she's cut down nets and stuff, winning championships.
Yeah, but it's pretty cool for us to be on the other side now. I like her being an LSU Tiger for sure.
Well, what I was going to say is some of the same people that are in these stands cheering for her and Mulkey Mania and wearing the T-shirts that say Kim Mulkey is my homegirl, maybe didn't like her a whole lot at that time, because it's a whole Nick Saban thing. You know, you're the one that's beating us. You're the one that we don't like you. And now that she's here and she's coaching LSU, I mean, I've just seen it over that 15, 16-year period flip.
Right. It's cool for me when people come up to me and like I had season tickets since this year, and it's so good to see us winning and bringing excitement back. This is so much fun. Tell your mom thank you for coming. I love hearing that. I love when people come up and say, tell your mom thank you for being here. And I'm like, well, thank you for being here at the game and supporting us, because your support and you guys filling the PMAC means so much to her and is really special to her.
Well, we have to talk about the leadership at LSU that got this done, right?
Right.
Scott Woodward, Stephanie Remp.
Oh, yeah.
The people in that office who said, no, it's not okay just to say, okay, if women's basketball makes the NCAA tournament and gets beat in the first round, that's okay. We need to be excellent. We need to make the play. And I don't even want to think about if your mom would have said no, because any other hire would have been a big letdown.
Right.
But
I mean, yeah, you got to give so much credit to Scott and Stephanie. I mean, Dee Bro too. Dee Bro was Dee Bro played a huge part in getting my mom here. She was she was on the phone all the time with her. But it's a non-revenue sport, and I think that scares a lot of people away. A lot of administrations away from probably paying the coach as much money as you do. But like, yes, it's a non-revenue sport, but like you look at the PMAC today, you look at her at the gymnastics meet, it's not just women's basketball that she's impacting, she's impacting the whole school. So you gotta give Scott and Stephanie and everybody involved a lot of credit for seeing the big picture and not just saying, well, it's okay for us to be mediocre and we won't pay our women's basketball coach as much money, but we'll be mediocre and it'll be okay. Mm-hmm. They were like, no, we're LSU. We're the alpha of alphas in college sports. We're going to go get the best we can find. And I'm sure glad they did. And I think that's the right thing. LSU should be good in every sport. There's no excuse as to why not. So for them to be as aggressive, to pay her, find a way to pay her salary, hats off to them, because that's what this state, that's what this city, that's what this school deserve is a winner in every sport that you put on the floor.
Yeah, I did see Dee Bro shortly after they hired your mom, and she said, I mean, we're like at a social gathering, and Dee's getting fired up, like talking to me about this.
She's the best.
She's like, she goes, well, somebody told me we can't pay a women's basketball coach $2.5 billion. I said, why the hell not? You're paying Will Wade that much money. I mean, this is like a thing where people are drinking and having hors d'oeuvres.
That's my girl. I love.
Getting all fired up about this. Kim Mulkey.
I love Dee. Every time I see her, I call her my girlfriend. Put my arm around her. I say, there's my girlfriend. I love Dee, bro.
Well, it was just so great because I joked with your mom when I interviewed her, I don't know, months ago when she first got the job, about how Dee and Kim were like the new power couple and the new power duo in Baton Rouge.
It looks like they share jackets too, huh? They're the same style, huh?
The besties there. They were out at softball games
so they're like besties, yeah. And so Dee's daughter Jewel. We talk all the time. I've befriended Jewel, and we talk all the time. Just like we know exactly what the other one's going through with our moms being, alpha personalities, rah, and she'll just text me and just be like, oh, I feel you. I know how you feel. We'll go get dinner somewhere, hang out, and it's just funny because Dee and my mom are just like that, and I know Jewel well now, and just funny to have those conversations with her because she went through a lot of the same things I did growing up. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and Dee and your mom are roughly the same age, and they dealt with the same struggles in the 80s.
Yeah, they're pioneers. Yeah.
Where athletic directors were like, okay, be lucky that you have a job and work here. Don't ask for this, don't ask for that. Right. You're a woman's sport, no one cares type deal. And they could never envision what happened today, 13,000 people showing up.
Right, they wouldn't take no for an answer. And that's why they became as great as they were and had the careers that they had, or Mom is still having, and Dee had. She built LSU gymnastics into this. I mean, selling out almost every meet, and that's what my mom's trying to do here with women's basketball.
And to your point a while ago, I think somebody, even when the previous coach was here, I think someone said they could sell out every game in the sport to lose money. That's just the way it is. But if your mom makes a run in the tournament and is at the Final Four, and somebody puts on their television set somewhere in this country and sees LSU and your mom on the sideline and LSU playing, that's the free advertising. It may not be the Joe Burrow Heisman Trophy speech, but it's the same idea.
Right.
It's free advertising. It's free promotion for your school.
And I'll tell you what else, her being here and being a Louisiana girl, how many people are donating money to the athletic program in general? A ton of people are doing that. So she's not just helping LSU women's basketball, she's helping every sport across this campus. She's helping the image of LSU when it needs a good image right now. She's helping with everything. And I think Scott and Stephanie, they saw the big picture of that. And like I said, credit to them for looking at the big picture, not just, we need a women's basketball coach. Yeah. I mean, they couldn't have gone and gotten a better hire. So they did it. They did it, and they did what needed to be done to make it happen.
My friend Mike Scarborough, he does TigerBait.com. It's a football recruiting website, LSU sports website. Got a lot of guys on there who you're, 50 and up, 60 and up, LSU football or nothing type guy. And he said some guys never cared about a women's basketball game ever, who were just totally engrossed in Kim Mulkey and women's basketball, interested, watched the opening press conference, watching the games, moving the needle, so to speak. And I'm not saying this just because you're sitting here. I mean, there are few people in that sport, I feel, that really move that needle. I was one of them.
Yeah, there's not many. I mean, it's just, I think, like I said, it's just the energy and passion she has. Yeah, women's basketball is played below the rim. It's slower than men, whatever, but it's fun. Like, I don't think anybody can come to the PMAC and watch one of these games and not be entertained, whether it's the play on the court, my mom's antics on the sidelines, her getting the fans going. You feel involved. You feel a part of the game.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, when she's telling the fans to get up, like, I'm feeling like, all right, let's go. We're helping them. Like, it's a show. It's not just a basketball game, a women's basketball game. It's a show, and I think that's why throughout the season you've seen the crowds consistently get bigger and bigger, because people come and they're like, well, I want to come back, and then I'll bring a friend or bring somebody else, and people want to keep coming back. So I'm excited to see. I know what LSU fans are, and I'm excited to see where this keeps. Because at Baylor, she had hit the ceiling. There was nothing more that she could accomplish here. She did everything that she could. Well, the ceiling at LSU was so high. Like, you start talking national championships and Final Fours here, there's no telling what this could turn into. It could become a monster. And I think that's really exciting, just to, they're doing great right now, but just to think where they could be, man, in a few years, starts getting recruits in here, they start building this fan, leading the SEC in attendance, the country, and who knows, the country in attendance. The ceiling's high here, and I think she sees that, and she's really excited about that. I think she's re-energized being here. Yeah. I think a lot of her staff is re-energized being here. I don't know if she would tell you that, but I just see it in her eyes. She's excited, man. She's promoting the program. She's promoting LSU, and it's exciting to see where this is going.
Totally agree. I love the cardboard cutout behind the LSU band drum riser or whatever. It's her doing that.
It's great.
And the guy shakes it up and down. It literally looks like she's.
Yeah, it's great.
She's gesturing and screaming and everything.
This has been fun. It's been fun for me to be here from the first game until first game. There's a few thousand people here to now 13,000 people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
In less than one season that they've, credit to all of them, players.
Well, the previous years.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
even
previous
before
years.
COVID.
Yeah, but I haven't even seen the previous years, but just from what I've seen, from game one against Nichols to now.
Right. Just
game against Florida.
3 months or whatever.
I mean, it's just continually gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's really exciting. And I know if I'm a team in the NCAA tournament, I don't want to play this team. This is not a team I'd want to be playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche, but they always bring up guards, right? Yep. You don't want these guards that can run up and down the floor and pass and hit shots. And, I mean, and it's scary today to think, as poorly as those guards shot today, LSU found a way to win and beat a good team.
The team that's won 12 of the last 13. 17th ranked team in the country, and you still find a way to win. So that should give them a lot of confidence in that locker room. Man, we just beat a really good team, and our 3 best players all year, none of them played great. I think Alexis had 20, but she'd be the first one to tell you she didn't play her best game. I think she shot about 30% from the field as well.
She had 10 free throws today.
Yeah, so that should give them confidence, give my mom confidence, gives everybody confidence. Your all SEC players played bad today, and you still found a way to win. So that's exciting too.
Good coaching, challenging those bigs.
Yeah, they stepped up. You had, all your bigs. Autumn played great. Foss, I think, only missed 1 shot. Hannah came in off the bench to make some huge plays. Alwa got some big offensive rebounds. So that was good to see other players step up today instead of just those 3 guards.
I think your mom turns 60, right?
May 17th.
May 17th.
May 17th.
Good boy, knows his mom's birthday.
My mom's birthday.
June 15th, my mom's birthday. All right. But, so, you think she could go another 10 years here? What do you think? I asked her that question. She said, well, you don't know about your health and this.
Yeah.
She obviously looks very healthy.
Yeah, I think as long as her health is good, like I said, if she was at Baylor, no way. I honestly think she wouldn't go past 65. Because, like I said, she'd reached the roof. Yep. There was nothing more to prove, nothing more to do there. But she's re-energized. I see it in her eye. I see it every day. that she comes to, when I'm with her at practice or when she comes home, she's re-energized being in Louisiana, and I think she feels responsible to give these people a winner and give these people a program. This is home for them.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say yes or no. I think it's possible she could, depending on her health and how she's feeling. She's got grandkids now growing up, and they're in Texas. But I wouldn't put it out of the question. I'd love to see her do it for another 10 years.
And there's been talk too, I don't know if she brought it up or someone else brought it up, that she could be an athletic director one day.
She wouldn't do it. No chance.
Oh, okay.
No chance.
That she would not do that.
No chance.
Okay.
I don't think any chance that she would ever do that.
She would have to fire coaches and hire coaches and all that.
Too much work for her. That's year round.
Yeah.
I'd love for her to go another 10, 15, 20 years. That's more inheritance for me. Come on. We're in a lockout. We're in a lockout right now. I don't know if I'm gonna get paid, so keep coaching.
I've heard about your mom's house, by the way. It's not exactly a hut.
No, and she still has her one in Texas. She hasn't even sold her house in Texas. We still have that house there. So
yeah, and she's earned every penny.
She has
for sure. Having some fun.
And she didn't spend any money except on her yard. That's all she spends her money on is yard work. She doesn't buy nice cars. She has some nice jewelry, but she doesn't spend. She's cheap. She's cheap.
Those
man.
fancy outfits.
She's not paying for those. She's not paying for those. She doesn't pay for her gas.
They show up at her house like a paper, right?
They do.
Like the morning paper. Here, Kim, wear this today.
If you don't see her on the sideline, she's wearing sweats every day. She doesn't care about spending money on anything. If you met her and you didn't know she was Kim Mulkey, you would think she's just an average lady on the street. Doesn't want to wear makeup, doesn't want to do her hair. She's just easygoing. Country girl from Tickfall, Louisiana.
Oh, we love it. And the other day, right here, she takes her jacket off. You've got a sleeveless shirt on or whatever. And after the game, she said, "Well, I've been eating so much down here. Look like a fat pig out there."
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she about has a heart attack when I tell her sometimes what I'm spending on some of these jackets or my shoes. She just can't understand it for the life of her. I'm like, I see what you're wearing on the sideline. She's like, I'm not paying for that though.
Kramer, way before you got there, Skip Burtman was the coach at LSU baseball. Jason Williams was a big-time hitter. He told me a story. He goes, I went to fall ball. Skip Burtman gave me one gray, itchy LSU baseball shirt. When fall ball ended, he took it back. And then he gave it back to me. He said, these days, these guys, how many pairs of shoes, how many,
we're so spoiled,
shirts.
So spoiled now. I know, I mean, I'm lucky. Everybody thought I was paying for those cleats in college. I just had my mom's Nike account, so I was ordering those shoes off her Nike account and sending them to a company to put cleats on. I wasn't paying for those, but
yeah,
now that I'm out of college, I see the value of money a little bit more, especially making $2,000 a month in the minors. So I need to hurry up and call me up, please, so I can get a little better paycheck, because minor league money ain't good.
I almost felt nervous before we sat down, because I meant to do some more like research and stuff on your career, like at LSU, and this game and that game. But obviously, I didn't need to do that today. We'll do that maybe another time. But talking about your mom has been more than enough. But certainly, I commend you on your career at LSU. And I interviewed Coach Maneri last week, and he said, "Look, when the season started, I didn't talk to parents.
Right.
I'm the head coach at LSU, but he said your mom was obviously an exception, because she was a coach herself and kind of demanded that respect and that dialogue."
Right, absolutely. Coach Maneri and Mom have a great relationship. He came with me to the game for the first time the other day, and the whole crowd gave him a standing ovation.
That's right.
He's meeting me at the batting cages tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. to throw me batting practice. So he's still hanging around it a little bit, and I don't know if it's batting practice. He likes to try to strike me out and talk trash while he does it. But
Coach had some hole-in-ones too playing golf.
Yeah, well, I've played with him twice, and he beat me both times. So don't let the smile and the nice voice fool you. He's competitive, and he wants to beat you in everything he does.
Do you call him P-Money?
I used to call him P-Money. I just call him Coach now, but in college we would call him P-Money. Yeah, there's a lot of different nicknames for Coach. But I love Coach. Coach and I have a great relationship, and I wouldn't be the player. I wouldn't have had the career that I had at LSU, and I would not be the player that I am today without the guidance of Coach Maneri and so many others, but specifically Coach. He's had more of an impact on my baseball career than anybody else.
Because I just glancing at LSUsports.net, your freshman year, you played in 47 games. Your sophomore year,
I stunk both years.
You played in 27 games.
I was bad both years.
Yeah, you batted 200 your first year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your mom described you as this cocky kid, know-it-all or something like that.
I was. Well, you know, I had never been challenged in sports. Like growing up, when you're the best player, you're the best player, and you think you're the best, and then you get to college and it humbles you for sure. I get there and I think it's going to be just like high school. Like I'm going to go out there and be the best. And I think Alex would tell you this. Like I went up to Bregman and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be the best. Like I'm going to be an All-American. That was my mindset, and I didn't. And you know, I think that's good in a way, but you need to be humbled. And I think when I got, and Coach and I were talking about this the other day, when I got to school, I was that confident, cocky, which he wanted me to be that. But I felt like it sometimes rubbed people the wrong way, like this freshman's coming in this confident. And I got completely away from that. I didn't want people to dislike me, so I got completely away from that guy that was confident, like, oh, I'm going to be an All-SEC player, I'm going to be an All-American. And I played like it. I played like I wasn't confident and I wasn't good for the first 2 years, and I came back that junior year. And Coach was like, hey, like be that guy, like be the guy that believes in yourself, that when you got here, you said you're gonna be an All-American, well go show it. And so I got back to that, and by then my teammates knew who I was as a person, and you know, I had great relationships with them. But that's one of the biggest messages Coach Maneri ever got across to me was, don't ever lose that confidence when you step out on the field. And since my junior year of high school, and whether I am or I'm not, when I step onto the field, I believe that I'm the best player on the field, and I think that's how every player should be, whether it's in basketball, football, baseball. I don't care who's on the field with me. I'm going to believe in myself and my own abilities.
What year did you get sent home? Like
sophomore year.
So the team's going to the playoffs, and
the team's going to Omaha, and I stayed through the Super Regional. I got cleared. Don't know if I was really ready. I was injured. But I got cleared right, I think in the middle of the Super Regional, and they said I could go. And I told Coach I could go. Don't know if I really could have played. My elbow was in pretty bad shape.
Actually, there's an injury.
Yeah, but he made the decision not to take me. And I'm glad he did, quite honestly, because that motivated me so much through that summer and through that next fall. And I was bitter. Like I was angry. I was really mad at him. And he knows that now. But like looking back in hindsight, like, it's probably the best thing that ever happened for me. That motivation, that hurt, that drive back to Texas. I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, if you're good enough, do it. If you're not, then get out. And I was like, I'm a prideful person, so I was like, I'm going to stay. I'm going to show him. I'm going to show every LSU fan that doesn't think I'm any good that I'm going to do it. And then those last 2 years were pretty special for me personally and for LSU baseball in general.
Yeah. Well, that's a great story. It triggered in my mind the other day because Blake Money got sent home at the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only been one game. It was against Maine. We know what LSU baseball does and who they're supposed to beat down the line. But for him to get sent home at the end of last year, lose 40 pounds, he comes out first game and pitches like he did.
Yeah, that's why I don't love the transfer portal, because it's just so easy. Like, oh, you're not playing? Well, it's easy. Well, I'm not getting my way. I'm going to go here. Whatever happened to, you know, learning from the Alex Bregmans, learning from the people above you that are better than you, and showing you that you need to be better, instead of just transferring to all these different schools. You know, I'm not good enough to play here, I'll go here.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for people that, you know, learn from failure, and you fail again and again, and you keep coming back until you achieve those dreams and those goals. And the transfer portal, while I'm sure it's good in a lot of ways, it takes away from that person that, you know, that sits behind the All-American and waits their turn. You don't see that a lot anymore, and I think it's special when you do.
How do you, what is this, how many years now? 5 years? How do you 5 years later reflect on 2017? Because I think there's 365 teams or something like that play college baseball, and only 2 play for it all. And it was a magical summer. Zach Hess became a superstar, and all the stars. You became a superstar, and it was a lot of fun. You guys just didn't win.
Yeah. That team was the best team any sport that I've ever been a part of. We got along so well throughout the entire fall of the season. We just were a really close-knit team, and we were just really good. That team was good, and I thought we should have won the national championship. Ball didn't bounce our way. A few things happened, and it still bothers me. Like it really does. 5 years later, still make me sick.
You could say Eric Walker got hurt. Why?
Yeah, you could point out a lot of different things. Yeah. I guess it wasn't meant to be. I thought we were the best team in the country. You beat an Oregon State team 2 days in a row that was 60-4, which is crazy thing about it. You beat them 2 days in a row. that team was so good. And that, I haven't seen every LSU baseball team, but I'd go on record as saying that's probably the best LSU baseball team that never won a national championship. That's a national championship team in my mind, and we just didn't do it. And I'm sick about it. I wish we could have brought it back to the state and to this school and city. But it's just special memories throughout that whole season. Just with Coach, with my teammates that I'm still good friends with today. I have a lot of fond memories on that entire season, and I just wish we would have won the last game of the season, but we didn't.
Blame it on me because there's a couple of people in the media that know that there was a tropical storm that weekend. I was doing our Red, Rock, and Blue thing, and so I got canceled. And so I was freed up, and I said, well, I'll go cover the last 2 games, and I went up and you guys lost 2, so blame me.
Yeah, it still pains me. It really does. It's really still, it will the rest of my life. It will. It really will. People don't understand that. I'll still lose sleep about it every once in a while.
Well, not to turn the knife on you, but just being there, it just seemed like there were so many LSU fans there.
Yeah.
I talked to a Florida player before the game, and he said, and I said, yeah, we're here to cover LSU. He's like, well, we'll have like 1,000 fans, and they'll have the other 24,000 or whatever. I mean, there's purple and gold everywhere, and it just seemed like you're in your home, so to speak. You're going to win. And then there was that slide play or whatever in the second game, and some wacky stuff that goes on.
Yeah, first and third, no outs, down 1 in the 7th and 8th inning, and you don't score a run. Down 1 run, we didn't score a run. So yeah, I remember every play.
And to further turn the knife, Alex Lang would have pitched.
We would have won game 3. They had nobody left. They had no pitching left, and we knew that. We just got to get one game, and we had Lang, and they had nobody left.
And see, that's what bothers me sometimes about when people who don't know anything about baseball try to criticize Paul Mainieri.
Yeah.
Because almost like, and I'm not attacking fans. I'm just saying I think sometimes some of the criticism is just ridiculous. Because if he wins 2, and I told him, I said, is 2 like the modern day version of 5, like skip 1 5?
Yeah, nobody's winning 5 anymore.
Yeah,
that ain't happening. I think Coach, I don't even know if he's underappreciated, but in my mind he is, because people don't see how big of an impact he has on his players and the product that he puts out on the field. Think about it. Every year he won. There was always, when we went for a while there, like 6 straight years.
7 years as a national seed.
7 straight years as national. There was something. All 4 years I was here, we were a national seed. So you think about, like, you're in contention, and baseball is not like basketball or football where you can go out and just be better than everybody else. You can lose to the worst team in the conference, the worst team in the country, if it's just baseball. And Coach Mainieri had just about every team he had in contention and going to the World Series and winning at the World Series. So that in itself is really hard to do. How many other programs are doing that?
Yeah.
And every year, basically, that Coach Mainieri was here, like, it's a national championship contending team, whether we went to Omaha or not. But I know all 4 years I was here, it was like national championship or bust. And that's credit to Coach Mainieri, because if you build a program that, that's that good, then that's the expectation. But Coach was special, and he's a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I was just having a discussion with somebody online one day, and he said LSU should never, ever lose a super regional in LA Box Stadium, ever. And I said, yeah, well, the Stony Brook one, that was kind of, that was kind of a wacky thing. But I said, Coastal Carolina, they won the national title that year,
I remember that one.
No, still, it didn't faze him. He didn't blink, the fact that they had won the national title.
Yeah.
Still, LSU had no business losing at home in a super, so.
That one made me sick, too. They dogpiled on shortstop after walking us off on our home field. That one was sickening. But that team was, I genuinely feel that Coastal Carolina team was better than that team in 2016. I can live with that one, because we got beat by a team that I felt was better than us at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anybody was better than us in 2017. Not a team we played that whole year. And we played an Oregon State team that was arguably one of the best seasons in college baseball history. But every day we stepped on the field in 2017, I felt like we were the better team. Which makes it so much harder to live with 5 years later.
This conversation was off to such a great start. Talking about Kim Mulkey.
I love talking about Mom.
And everything here. Well, you've got, obviously, you should be very, very proud of your career and what you guys accomplished and what you did. You played with some all-timers and Bregman and all those guys, and just a lot of fun, and really enjoying covering your mom, and looking forward to what is at the end of March Madness.
Hope I'm watching from spring training. Hopefully we'll get that started.
No Major League team. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Major League Baseball, but I have been hearing it around me.
We're still on lockout.
And I heard there's very little communication.
They're meeting. I think they're meeting this week, but I don't know. I haven't been communicated with. Nobody's told me anything. I was supposed to be there today. Today was day one, so I'm still here.
Yeah, we're hitting late February. I mean,
yeah, so we'll see. It'd be nice to know something. So,
hey, there you go.
I'm staying ready.
Kramer Robertson, this was outstanding. We could keep talking, but I got to go get back to the station and put together a recap on a big LSU Lady Tiger win today.
I'm going to go meet Mom for dinner now. Hopefully she's paying because I ain't getting any salad. She already ordered me a drink.
Oh, order drinks, but Kim Mulkey
she doesn't drink. She does not drink, and I can confirm that she has never had a drop of alcohol. And
no coffee either.
No coffee either, which I don't understand that.
She should have coached at BYU.
But she drinks a whole lot of Barks root beer and Coke, and she needs to drink more water. And I stay on her about that.
Okay.
She doesn't. She'll eat whatever, and she'll drink anything but coffee and alcohol. But I'll drink a martini for her then.
There you go. There you go. Have one for me too.